I had an idea for a spec holiday ad for Ford, and in just a couple weeks, I got to watch it on Jimmy Fallon. So at the time, I hadn't done a spec ad for years. I had just gotten so busy with client work and felt like it was kind of behind me, but I really had the itch. And with the holidays coming up, I love Christmas ads, so I wanted to make one. Doing spec work even later into your career, I think is really important because it gives you the opportunity to get a little bit scrappy, look at things around you and figure out, what do I actually want to be making if I could make anything? Now, the biggest difference between making something like a short film or a spec ad is with the spec ad, you still want to be creating an ad that looks like something they would actually put out. It actually falls in line with their brand or their current campaigns. There was no chance I was going to ask anybody to work for free. So I tried to put together a meager budget and pay attention to, okay, what are the things around me that I already have that can help punch that budget up? So I noticed one of the small towns near me, Gettysburg, super, super quaint. They were having a Christmas tree lighting coming up. So there's something, okay, there's going to be a lot of people. There's going to be, a beautiful town square that has a lot of the look and feel already done. And I've also been using my Ford F-150 PowerBoost a ton on set, using it to power the lights and basically just replace using generators on set. You kind of mix those things around a little bit and you get this cool guy Santa in an F-150 PowerBoost saves the day when a Christmas tree lighting goes sideways. It's simple enough to be done in 30 seconds. It leans into a core feature that it seemed like Ford was pushing at the time of one of their newer models. And most importantly, with the time and budget that we had, I was confident we could make it look and feel like a real Ford spot, not a filmmaker show reel. So once I had the rough idea, I threw together a quick script and storyboard so that I could showcase that idea to other people. And I knew the biggest thing I would need is the location. The Gettysburg Christmas tree lighting was only 2 days away, and I knew that had the exact look we wanted to go for. But ultimately, we ended up with a definitive no. It was just too close to the day to actually get any kind of filming permit. So I'm on the drive home and I'm thinking, you know what? It was a good year. Just take this time with the family, let this go, and maybe next year. But then my phone started to blow up. All the cast and crew that I had reached out to and sent the script and the storyboards to hopefully get them on board loved it. I can't text everybody and be like, oh, sorry, it's not going to happen now. So I had to figure out a way to make it work. Figured there's no way this is the only Christmas tree lighting happening in central Pennsylvania. I have at least a couple more shots at this. And while I didn't want to go in without asking permission at all, I did know that my approach needed to be a little bit different. So the next week, York's Christmas tree lighting was happening. And while I'm reading about it on the website, I noticed something that was going to be the key. They were accepting sponsorships. I'm thinking if my company sponsors the event, they can't possibly tell us no, right? So I fire off an email. I'm like, here's the script, here's the storyboard, here's what we want to do. We are professionals, here's the reel. And by the way, we want to sponsor the event. The next day I get a 5-word reply that changed everything. We'd be happy to help. Now, the sponsorship thing was huge for a couple reasons, but we were able to be there and filming and no one would bother us. The second thing added more production value, more Christmas magic to this ad than almost any other shot. We were able to get 2 minutes of stage time with the microphone, with this center square full of people. And while most of the sponsors use that time to advertise or talk about their business, I used that time to direct 400 people who were now extras in a commercial that I never could have afforded. It was time to dig further into the story. So I knew the first couple beats are going to play off of these two main characters, the mayor and a little girl. Now, with any 30-second ad, the casting really goes a long way to help build the characters without having to build in 20 lines of dialogue because you just don't have time. The idea is to cast people that feel like a heuristic or shorthand so that you see them and you get it right away. So for the mayor, we want someone who is middle-aged, proud, wholesome, face of the town. And for the little girl, we need someone small with parents and kind of that bold honesty that comes with kids. And then for the Santa character coming in at the end to save the day, we wanted this almost mythical Santa truck guy appearing out of nowhere to fix everything. So to get everybody on board for the small budget that I had, I knew I was going to need more than a script. And nobody wants to look at my stick figures to try to get the idea across. So this was the early days of GPT-4 doing some image generation, and I decided to try my hand at creating some of the imagery that way. I started putting together frames and then eventually built them into video form with some sound effects and music to really try to sell the whole thing, and sending that out to cast and crew to pique their interest.
Need a boost?
And luckily it worked. Everybody was on board, and it definitely worked better than the whole trust me, it's going to be great kind of text. Once we had everything locked in, I realized there's just no way we're going to be able to film this all in one night. Tree lighting is a live event, so streets are closed, things are moving fast, and we'd be working around real people and a real schedule. So it just made more sense to split it into 2 separate nights. Night 1 was the actual tree lighting. So we were filming the mayor and his reactions, the little girl and her reactions, the whole crowd reactions, and then the tree going out and coming back on, and some aerial shots of all those same things. Now, because you could see the mayor in the shot with the tree, we were actually cueing him and his actions based around when we thought the tree would be going on and off, which was, in hindsight, probably not the best idea. And then night 2, we'd be filming Santa and the truck in a quieter, more controlled location, and then all the driving shots that evening too. We get to night 1, we're a couple hours out, and it's pouring raining. Now, I confirmed that the event was still going to be happening, but the look was probably not going to be what we're going for. At this point, I've heard so many no's and we pressed through. I had so many good people on board who also wanted to see this happen. We sent it. And again, more Christmas magic. The rain stopped as soon as we got there. No extra fog or nastiness. And there was actually a guy running around with a snow machine, so things were looking better than we hoped. So first things first, we got our shot with the family and the little girl because it could kind of be anywhere that looked good. Once we locked that, the rest of the crew started getting set up for the shot of the mayor, while I got ready to direct the entire crowd using my sponsorship time on stage. I had about 90 seconds in front of a few hundred people to both explain what was happening or was about to happen and direct them through 3 different specific shots that I needed. The idea is that when the Christmas tree doesn't light, they all get sad. Then it's quiet and they hear an engine revving and they're confused. They're looking around, what's going on? And then I need a massive cheer after the tree lights back up and it's the triumphant ending, right? Where everybody's excited. I really had no idea how this was going to go. There's always a good chance that the mixture between people being confused about what is this for and other people just kind of being too cool to participate, that you were just going to get nothing from anyone. If there was any one moment that was like the pinnacle of Christmas magic in this whole thing, that was absolutely it. All these strangers coming together to help create a story that they didn't even fully understand at the time. We're getting ready for the countdown for the tree to light, and we had the drone in the air. We were ready for the cue. We had our mayor character ready to flip his switch, and it went okay. We needed another take, but how are we going to get another take at this point? They just lit the tree. We ended up actually talking to some workers from the city who were kind enough to go, and about 5 minutes after they did the tree lighting, turn the tree back off and then light it up again so that we could cue everything and make it happen and get the shot that we needed. But again, just the kindness of strangers who didn't know exactly what we were doing, but they were willing to be so helpful was just such an incredibly refreshing swap on how this all started in the other city. So then a couple days later, we're on to production night 2. Liz and Vince start on the Santa makeup early because it was going to take a while. Originally, I was going to just go with the normal Santa beard that came with the outfit, but she encouraged me to go all out and get like the real prosthetics. And I am just so happy that we did, because it allowed us to shoot way closer and it looks so much better. This is somewhere where making that additional investment made all the difference. This night really brought my 2 greatest loves in filmmaking together, action and comedy. We had a motorized bike rigged to film the truck, and we also had an incredible Philly comedian with us in full Santa garb. It just hard for those things to go wrong. My whole crew and I have been working with Vince for years at this point on different projects, and it's just a joy to all be around each other. We found an empty parking lot to set up our main shots where he would be giving lines and pretending to pull up and close the door and plug in and all that type of stuff. But because we were out in the middle of an empty parking lot, we did end up actually using the truck to power our snow machine, to power our lights and everything that we used to actually film, which just made for all of its own great behind the scenes content showcasing the ability of the truck. Driving shots, we rigged the DJI Ronin 4D to the back of a Super 73 bike on a little isolating arm, and Kerwin drove that on the sidewalk while I drove the truck along the main street. Because it was only 2 lanes, there really wasn't enough space to go car to car, so by using the Super 73 in the sidewalk, we not only got a little bit of extra distance away from the truck, but we had the foreground elements of the lampposts and everything rushing by that made our 20 miles an hour look like 40 or 45. And because of the flexibility of the Ronin 40 ecosystem, we were able to control the angle and focus in everything from down the block off of the bike. So we had these two individual filming nights, and now we need to stitch them together to make it feel like one cohesive event. And by the way, time is still ticking down. We're now at December 4th, and obviously we need to get this thing through post, color, sound, and get it put out well before Christmas. And I still want to build in a little bit of time to try to send it to Ford and see what can happen. Now, granted, we got a late start because the whole idea for this thing came to me like a week before this, but we were too late to turn back now, and I needed to turn this edit around immediately. But because I already had a pretty tight previs, I was able to just go in, kind of swap out shots, put things in the right places. And, I did find a couple happy accidents along the way. And then, of course, when you have the real lines from the real actors, that I like to let them play a little bit and figure out what the best version is that feels natural to them, that might adjust timing a little bit as well. So I feel like I finally got things in a good place. Used some VFX to put in some additional snow where we were lacking, and had things set out to the colorist and sound designer. Now, luckily, those two hustled, and we had a finished spot on December 7th. Felt good about it. I felt like it was something that Ford would and could actually have put out. This is where the second half of this story gets started, getting it in front of the right eyes. So the spot was finished. I was so proud of it, and just so floored by how many people put their time and heart into making this happen at all. I really wanted to get it in front of someone at Ford who could actually do something with it, or just get them to see it, get their take on it. So I did what any of us do. I went to LinkedIn and typed in Ford and marketing, and anyone who had that in their title, I immediately started sending a cold DM. Over the next 12 hours, I probably sent well over 100, and I got no replies. Meanwhile, I'm not posting anything publicly about it because I'm thinking, if there is any chance that they want this, not to put on TV, but even to post on social, they're not going to use it if I post it on all of our stuff first. And I don't want to take a chance of messing that up. So after a day of that, I finally text my friend Andrew, who knows more about PR than anybody I know. And I was just thinking, okay, I kind of want to put this out myself, but is there any PR angle to like the story behind how this got made, even like local papers, publications, things like that? What should I do? Where should I start? So he watched the ad and said, this is a great story, especially with how fast you made it and how the whole city helped. Local media would eat this up. And also, I might have a Ford contact. So at this point, things started moving fast. He sent the ad to the former Ford executive, and they gave him their blessing to forward it along to two current Ford executives. They liked it enough to have someone who was in the trucks division reach out to me and set up a meeting for Monday, the next business day. This all happened within 8 hours of me just reaching out to him, being like, hey, what do you think I can do with this? So over the weekend, of course, I am just pumped for this call. I'm pumped for the opportunity. So I'm like, okay, well, what else can I do with what I have? I had some behind the scenes stuff. So I ran out and shot a talking head of myself in the truck, just talking about making the project happen, and reached out to Andrew, our gaffer, and Glenn, our sound guy, to kind of sing the praises of using the PowerBoost a little bit to film the ad about the PowerBoost. I even ran to my parents' house and got an old photo of me with my first truck, which was a Ford, to bring along into the meeting and just put anything I could possibly put into this opportunity. The call went better than I could have imagined. They were floored on the actual spec and the behind the scenes that I had already put together. They said it was super aligned with the direction of everything at that moment. They really wanted to push the PowerBoost. This was like the right thing at the right time. And there was a good possibility that they were going to be able to share it, at least, on social, which for me was like, felt like it couldn't even be real. So, I mean, honestly, even having the meeting at all, in a matter of 2 weeks, going from having an idea for a spec ad for a company and then sitting on a Zoom call with an executive from that company is like, just doesn't make sense to my brain. So for me, this was already above and beyond mission accomplished. And I'm, of course, sharing all the play-by-plays with the entire casting crew. Everyone is just so excited to see where this goes at this point. They're having me make slight tweaks in the edit to make sure that the branding all shows up appropriately. They're asking if I'm available for interviews later in the week, and just things started to happen really fast. Then, crickets. Then I got an email letting me know that there might be an issue. Without getting into any private details, there was something in the works with a celebrity that might be similar in concept to what we had created. And because of that, they can't publish our spot. And from their perspective, they really didn't want us to post it either with any of their branding on it, which is always the scary part about approaching an actual brand with your spec ad, because there's 1,000,001 spec ads on Vimeo and YouTube right now with branding from real ads on them. And to my knowledge, as long as it's not disparaging, you really don't run into any issues, which obviously ours was also not disparaging. But because we were already in conversations and, the cat was out of the bag, it was look, if you're going to post it, you have to pull all our branding off of it. And I was kind of like, at this point, well, I'm not going to not post it because everybody worked so hard. The city came together. I'll just put Almond Film Co. Happy Holidays at the end instead, and we'll still put it out. So around the same time, I checked the analytics on the private link that I shared with the ad and the behind the scenes content and everything with my contact at Ford. It had racked up 150 views in 2 days. And this is a private link that I shared with one person. But I put it out, everybody's hype on it, everybody's sharing it. And, we're all just super proud of what we made. But then I'm on my way upstate for a job. I get a text from Vince, our Santa character. It was a Tonight Show segment in partnership with Ford where Jimmy and the Roots are at a holiday block party. They light up everything and the power goes out. Santa shows up in a Ford F-150. Lightning? No, PowerBoost. He plugs it in and the party's saved. The main bones of it felt really similar to ours. Vince said, somebody at Fallon must follow you on Instagram. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that somebody stole our idea. I don't know that that's true, and it's probably not. Big brands and shows have lots of teams and lots of moving parts, and similar ideas absolutely can happen in parallel. What I will say is that the timing was interesting, and if nothing else, I'm really proud to have tapped into the same creative idea of one of the creative departments of one of the biggest companies in the world. It was hard not to be bummed after seeing that. But in hindsight, if you told me at the very beginning, you're going to make an awesome spec ad in a week and a half with some of your best friends, rally an entire city to help, and it's going to result in a Zoom meeting with a Ford exec in Detroit, and then that's it. Nothing will happen in the 11th hour. Do you still do it? My answer is yes. Every day, yeah. Because the real wins here had nothing to do with Ford. It was the cast and crew that rallied with almost no notice based on a script and storyboard. It was the city workers from York cutting the tree lights for us twice so that we could get the shot right. It was hundreds of people cheering and pretending to be sad on cue for something that they didn't really know exactly what it was for. It was the whole team experimenting and pushing new tools to see what we could do on a small budget. And it was getting eyes on our work that I really just thought would never be on our work. And now, today, it's a great story I get to tell. It's a piece of work that I'm still incredibly proud of. And that has nothing to do with whether or not it ever ran on Ford's official channels. If you haven't seen the spot yet, you should check it out. But I hope you have a happy holiday, and I hope you find lots of Christmas magic in your stories this year.
May this tree shine bright like our holiday spirit.
Need a boost?